You're 3 levels above where you started, and you're still hanging on to the identity that you built 3 titles ago. While that identity was built for survival, your leadership role and the altitude that you're at, it requires authority. Two different things. When you're climbing the ladder to executive leadership, the identity that you had at that point was to overcompensate, overfunction, overexplain, overprove. At this level in your executive leadership, that is no longer required and or needed. You don't need to be twice as prepared. You don't need to justify your presence. You don't need to overexplain. All of those things are a huge difference in where you're coming from to where you are now. The interesting part is that that particular identity was not a flaw, that was your strategy. However, at this point in your leadership career, that strategy is not going to work, even though it's what got you here. If you continue in the survival mentality, the survival identity, this is what it's going to look like. Get your pen and paper. Number one, you over prepare for conversations that should be led from instinct. Number two, you build a consensus in the room when you really don't have to. Number three, you begin to soften your message when you don't have to. And number four, and this one's my favorite, you change your mind because the room, as you see it, you still need the room's approval based on the identity and or the ego that you have. Does not work, not at this altitude. So instead of you being fully committed to being decisive, directional, and for lack of better terms, having conviction about your recommendation or solution, you're fully committed to being right. You're fully committed to over explaining. You're fully committed to getting the room consensus before you move forward. At this altitude, that's not what your leadership needs. As a side note, that's not what the business needs, that's not what the department needs, and that's not what your direct report needs. They need a leader with authority. And the interesting part is the gap is not your leadership skill, it is literally your identity. And here's what I need you to do. If you're ready to operate at that level, the altitude that you're at from a title perspective, this is what you have to do. Number one, you have to be ready to shift the room. Number two, you have to learn to position who you are in such a way where it's not threatening, it's not aggressive. It shows that you are a partner in their project, initiative, the boardroom, whichever one it is. And number three, stop leading from a version of yourself that has to fight and has to survive. I'm going to help you to appreciate how you're going to lead from a version of you that is about your identity and who you are. Once you nail that down internally, it begins to be on display externally. Stop leading from a version where you had to fight for a seat and start leading from a version where you own the seat. This shift right now is available to you, but it requires work done at the right depth, at the right time, with the right coach. If you are ready to shift, June 27th at 4 o'clock, the masterclass is open to you. Stop waiting another week, another year. Begin to know who you are as a leader now. Happy leading.